How's it going, guys? Hope y'all are doing great. This is E-Vlog coming to you with a new video on Black Clover. Now this is 10 characters who became more likable over time. In fiction writing, character development is the process of building a unique three-dimensional character with depth, personality, and clear motivations. Character development can also refer to the changes a character undergoes over the course of a story as a result of their actions and experience. Black Clover begins as stock Shounen with stock characters, but they quickly develop into their own unique personalities and powerful merges. Black Clover is a series that has grown on its audience over time thanks to Yuki Tabata's involvement. Its storylines start out rather basic, and most of its characters are unfortunately just one-note and almost comedic gags initially. Even the lead protagonist, with his shrill voice and threadbare character, are hard to take interest in. Mars went from a generic villain to fighting against a corrupt and ruthless kingdom. Mars was portrayed as a villain when he was first introduced. He was just a standard early series villain that didn't like the protagonist's behavior. But his backstory told the story of a young child who didn't want to fight and was forced to by the corrupt system that raised him. In the end, he became a likable character when he steps in to save Asta and defeat the woman he fell in love with. It became difficult not to cheer for him, breaking away from the Diamond Kingdom's corrupt system. Charlotte learns to accept her own feelings. She seemed more like a gimmick when she was introduced. She didn't talk much and she seemed arrogant, only recruiting men to her guild to make them into goofers. But the more fans learned about her, the easier she became to like. The inner monologue she has making obvious her enormous crush on Yami is adorable. She's also got one of the better backstories of a captain, having been locked off from her true magic by a curse that drastically limited her abilities. Memusa was hard to like as a character because in her first introduction, she kept dunking on Noile, who fans had already turned a corner on. But eventually, she became a more defined character between her support of Yuno and her support of Asta. Much like Noile, she's also someone who wanted to strike out on her own and be her own person, even though she could have easily found a place within the Crimson Lions. Although she still has a long way to go as a young magic knight, it will be great to see her in more screen time, as she effectively become a more talented version of Hinata Hyuga from Naruto. Funeral's family makes him a much more sympathetic character. In the beginning, Funeral is nothing more but a skirt chaser, a ladies' man who's terrified of conflict. His character was entertaining, but as time progressed, fans were beginning to get bored of his character until during the Royal Magic Knight exam when everything changed. In a battle against his younger brother Langris, fans learned that Funeral never developed attack magic because he doesn't want to hurt anyone. He flirts with other women because his one true love was taken from him. Everything he does is some form of coping mechanism, and yet he supports the Black Bows as best he could. Vanessa goes from being a one-note joke to the big sister of the Black Bows. Vanessa was just a drunk and a stock character. She spent most of her time lying around the Black Bows base, getting wasted and wearing no clothes. But the longer the series went on, the more fans get to see just how much she cared about her fellow Black Bow merges. She even went back to the place she just narrowly escaped to beg for someone to heal Asta after he got injured on a mission. Since then, she's become the big sister of the group, looking out for them with the power of her magic thread cat. Talos believes in Asta and Yuno as the future of Clover Kingdom. The Golden Dawn member Carlos looked down on the entire Black Bow group when they were forced to team up inside a dungeon. He didn't like the idea of commoners joining the Clover Kingdom's Magic Knight guilds, and he had a problem with both Yuno and Asta. But after seeing the effort they put in to fight against the Diamond Kingdom, Carlos became both of the young merge's biggest supporters. He knows just how hard they worked and how talented they are, and respects them for that, and has turned into a supportive big brother type. Asta's determination wins over everyone. Asta is almost impossible to like when the series starts. His voice actor is overdoing how annoying he is in the first couple of episodes. Some might not even want to hear him talk ever again. And there doesn't really seem to be anything new about him compared to Naruto. But as time progressed in the series, that changed. What makes Asta more likable is similar to any classic shonen protagonist. His desire to help people is enduring, and the nature of him being the one person who can't use magic makes him the perfect underdog. Noelle has one of the best character development on the show. She was borderline unlikable when she was first introduced. She was an annoying brat who spent most of her time talking down on the only guild that was willing to let her join without treating her like she was useless. But it didn't take long for that development to change, as she became a rare noble merge who actually cared about the commoners and wanted to help them. Noelle has single-handedly become one of the best written women in all of battle shonen history, as her journey from unsure tsundere to easily one of the strongest merges on the show has been just as engaging as the protagonist's storyline. Yuno's stoic behavior becomes more tolerable over time. His stiff nature can be off-putting. He constantly disrespects Asta for no reason, fully aware that Asta has no magic. It can be easy to dislike the character until it's pointed out that Yuno only disrespects Asta out of a rivalry perspective. He counts on Asta to keep pace with his incredible powers, and he's proud whenever he sees Asta catching up or even getting ahead of him. He also has no problem defending those who needs it, unlike many of the Clover Kingdom's royal soldiers. Sekiye Buranzaza, the Buha Master, has one of the best running gags in the show. Sekiye is the first person to take advantage of Asta, both for his lack of magic and his naivete. The second he gets the opportunity to show off his magic to make himself look better, he does it without hesitation. But he's embarrassingly defeated and was forced to join the Green Mantis squad. What makes him likable is the time he's introduced later. Originally, he is perfectly unlikable as a potential rival, but by the time he shows up again, he's just trying to survive in a guild where the captain is one of the most dangerous captains. Though he's a complete joke at this point, it's just hard not to be entertained whenever he's on screen. Now there you have it. Do you agree with the list? Feel free to share your thoughts. On that note, stay safe, keep on keeping on.